Welcome to Wave Wasters, I'm Matt, and in this video I'm going to build this experimental set of fins. I have no idea how these are going to surf. This set of fins is a little weird and I don't know if they're going to work at all. But I'm going to use some pine for the fin blank on this that I had left over from another project. So I didn't buy anything. I'm going to use all scrap fiberglass that I've saved from shaping boards. The only thing I'm going to use is some epoxy that obviously you can't reuse it once it's hardened. So for this, I'm going to use the leftover pine that I mentioned. It's a little thicker than 1/4 inch thick. So after I glue up my blank, I'm going to toss it through the planer a couple times just to thin it out, make sure both boards are nice and flat. Then we'll cut out some fins and start drilling some holes and filling them with epoxy. This is going to be an interesting build, and even more interesting if it's even going to work when I go to surf it. So let's jump into gluing up the fin blank. Alright, I have my 2 fins cut out and sanded to the exact shape I want. I have them attached with just a couple finishing nails. This just helps make it easier to get the fins exactly the same shape. Before I separate them, I'm going to take them over the drill press and I'm just going to drill a ton of holes in these 2 fin blanks. And keeping them attached like this will make sure the holes are in the same spot on each fin. Once I have all the holes drilled out how I want, I'm going to separate the 2 fins, cover up the back with some tape, and then I'm going to fill the holes with some epoxy. And then I'll be able to draw out my foil and foil the fins. So let's head over to the drill press. These are looking pretty cool. I don't know if they're gonna surf well, but I think they're gonna look pretty cool and it's gonna be a fun session the first time I surf them. Now that the holes are filled with epoxy, I'm just going to sketch out the foil and foil them pretty quick. So let's get to that. Alright, I have my two fins foiled, so now I'm going to glass them and add on some fin tabs. So let's jump into it. Alright, I have the fin tabs cleaned up and I gave the fins final sanding and polishing, and I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. The holes didn't come out exactly how I wanted. I wanted to get them a little bit more countersinked, but it didn't really work. The drill bit wanted to wander, and the other drill bit I wanted to try, it just didn't work out. So I ended up using the rotary tool to cut out the holes, which didn't get them perfectly round, but I don't think that's going to make a huge difference. These fins are really just to see what would happen if I made a fin with tons of holes, and is it going to give me any kind of release? Is it going to give me drive? Is it just going to be too much drag? I will try to do a video on these fins and just see how they surf, so stay tuned for that. If there's other experimental fins you'd like to see me do, just drop me a comment. Try to take some suggestions and add them into my long list of videos. With all that being said, here's how the final fins turned out.